guys. So I had to come to my favorite spot on the property to vent a little bit to you guys because I'm just really frustrated, really overwhelmed, really over it right now. So last week, or last Friday, so yeah, last week, tomorrow's Friday, so that makes it a week. Last week we ended up with a pretty extensive power outage, which a lot of people ended up experiencing and all that stuff. So when the power came back on, everything seemed like it was up and running fine, like life was going to get back to normal. We celebrated, we cheered, we're so excited to be able to do laundry and dishes and cook and just have normal existence and stuff. And then the other day our power grid started acting really funny. Not the grid, but just our power in particular started acting really strange, really funny. Like lights started flickering, outlets kept not working, all sorts of weird stuff had started happening. So I was like, all right, maybe I just need to change out the breakers. So I went ahead and I changed out all of the old breakers and stuff and was like, all right, this is better. I turned the power back on. Everything seemed fine for a couple of hours. And then it started up again. Everything started flickering and getting all weird and wonky. And then the outlet stopped working and it was wonky. It was weird. It was like craziness. So we ended up getting a hold of Jeff, our contractor friend, and was like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, I have no idea what the heck is going on. Like, this doesn't seem safe. Like, I don't understand this. He had me go mess with the stove. And then when I turned the stove on, suddenly everything started working again. So it was some weird sort of mix up inside of the electrical something. He told us to shut the power off and call the power company in the morning. So we called the power company in the morning. They came out yesterday, determined that the issue is on our side, that it's inside of the house somewhere. It's beyond them. So we had to get an electrician out here. So our hay dealer, he actually is an electrician by trade, so we got a hold of him. He's not able to come out till sometime next week. So our house currently, until sometime next week, has 50% power. How our electrical system is set up in the house is kind of weird. It's kind of bizarre. I assume it's not up to code because when the power company was out here, they also suggested we had the electrician look at some other stuff because it was kind of sketch. Which is how we still have power, is that little bit of sketchiness. So right after the meter, the power lines sort of split, and some of it goes to the one panel, which is the power panel we have shut off right now, which gives power to the kitchen, the dining room, what used to be both bedrooms, but now it's our bedroom and a pantry. It gives power to that, and gives lights to those areas as well. It also does like the stove and whatnot because it's in the kitchen. That whole panel is shut off. We have a separate panel that's in the utility room of our house that powers the well, the furnace, the hot water tank, the dryer, those sorts of things. Very important stuff. Also makes it so that way there's power to the bathroom. Very important. And the living room. And the master. But so we have half the power on in the house. Thankfully, the half that has power is the half that has all of the main mechanicals, so that way we can still wash our hands. We have running water, we have hot water, so we can still shower, we can still do laundry, we can run an extension cord from one side of the house to the other side of the house to be able to use the microwave or to periodically turn the fridges on, so that way we have short-term power for the fridges. It's just really incredibly difficult right now to try to pretend like life is easy, to try to pretend that life is going good, and to try to keep a smile on my face and trying to be like, all right, we're just going to adapt and overcome, because it's like for the last several years, that's just been the story of our lives. It's just been making do with less, adapting and overcoming, trying to figure out how to make things work, and trying to just barely keep our heads above water. And it's frustrating when we're living in a house that a lot of people would have considered not ready to move into yet. Because you got to remember, when we moved in here a couple weeks ago, we didn't have a shower. We didn't have a flushing toilet. We only had cold water. We didn't have a hot water tank hooked up. We barely knew that the well still worked when we moved in. Okay. So we're living in a house that all these systems are like barely even like up off the ground running. Like we've had a functioning stove now for, I think, 2 weeks. Something like that. So I mean, it's like we were basically camping and living in a state of somewhat desperation, and then the power went out, and we're like, oh god, this is really, 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 really bad. And then now this, and it's like, oh, this is a prolonged, really sucky, really difficult situation, and it's like, oh man, not again. So it's just really hard. It's really just like, feels like life is sucker punching us again. That's just how it feels. So we did come up with some workarounds for the whole stove situation so that way we can still cook, because as it is right now, we have no ability to cook anything, which is just really frustrating. And if we had more firewood here, we could, in theory, cook on the wood stove, but it's fixing to warm up here soon. Like today, all the snow is supposed to melt. It's supposed to be, I think, in like the mid 50s tomorrow or something like that. So, I mean, it's getting warmer outside, thankfully. But so this house, whenever we got it, it actually came with a gas stove inside of it, but it was really gross. It was really yucky. And we didn't really care for using a gas stove inside of the house at our old house with using the propane and stuff. I don't like all the smells in the house. I don't like the fumes in the house. I don't like the potential for kabooms in the house, that sort of a thing. And we also noticed too that it did a lot of staining on like the white ceilings and the white trim that I put in and all that stuff. It just sort of, everything kept having like a yellowish stain, almost like we were smokers. So I didn't really want to deal with that. So we changed it out for an electric stove. So what we're going to end up having to do is get a regulator, put the propane tank, hook it up to that other stove and set it outside, and just, it's a mess. This was stuff that was project for the summer that now is like fast tracking for this week, / this weekend, is for Tracy to get that hooked up and functional and operational. So it's just really frustrating that it's like we have stuff set in place, but it's like the stove project is something that we had figured out would probably be something that might not happen till this fall. Like that it was something that was way, way, way down the line of, this is going to be for an outdoor kitchen that one day we're going to build, and it's going to be nice, and we're just going to leave this in storage and then, use it when we have things in place. And it's just, now everything is just switching and tweaking and changing, and it's just, sometimes it's hard to roll with the punches. Sometimes it's hard to keep acting as though everything is okay when it's like everything feels pretty crumbly. It feels pretty difficult. It feels pretty shaky right now, and it just it's hard right now. We're living through a very difficult circumstances, difficult situations, and like, I know renovating a house is hard. We just did that at the last place and got enough time in between that I was basically able just to catch my breath a little bit, and then just thrown right back into the next project, the next set of projects, and the next set of struggles and difficulties. So it's a little rough right now. But we'll adapt. We'll figure it out. We'll overcome. We'll make do. We know it's only temporary, so thankfully we still have power in the other half of the house. That way we can, have adequate heat, and get clean. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice to wash your hands. So anyways, that's it for today. I've got a lot to do, so that way I can keep my mind off of the sucky, bah humbug, bitter, irritated, frustratedness that I'm dealing with right now, because right now I just wanted to cook eggs this morning. I just wanted to have a simple, easy breakfast without having to go, well, if I want eggs, I have to build a rocket stove. Then I have to go gather firewood, gather twigs and brush and things that are already dead and dry when everything's wet, and then I have to do this and I have to do that, and then I have to sit there and I have to, it's going to take this much time. I just want to be able to have the modern, the easy, the simple, the quick, fast way to just cook my eggs. Like, I've got too much other stuff to do than to keep having to. I'm just going to leave this here because that's all I can say. It's just frustrated sigh. So thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.